And I walked up to the lady and I said, she says, "Can I help you?" And I said, "I am going to say something to you that I thought I would never, ever say in my lifetime." I said, "My name is Vaughn Davis and I'm homeless." The night before, it had snowed just a little bit. And I remember sitting out on the stoop of the apartment building and sitting there thinking, what am I going to do? Where am I going to go? I was embarrassed to say, I was embarrassed to tell them I was homeless, and I didn't. Nobody knew.
Typically, we have at the downtown facility, which is our year-round shelter, we have between 700 and 800 people nightly. In the wintertime, we see our numbers increase rather dramatically, and we want to ensure that nobody has to sleep out on the streets or in their cars. So we run a second shelter program called our Community Winter Shelter Program. And when that shelter is in operations, we're between 1,100 and 1,200 people at night. There's a lot of people out there who have mental health issues and they're not getting treated. And because they are low income, no income, they're not a priority for treatment. A lot of people assume that everybody that is homeless is on drugs, and there certainly is a segment of our population that's dealing with substance abuse issues, but I think it's far smaller than most people would realize.
I remember this fellow, he gave me a $20 bill. That $20 bill at that time was like $1,000 bill, because when he gave it to me, the first thing I thought of was, oh, I can go to the liquor store. And then I thought, no, he gives me that money out of the goodness of his heart. And I'm not going to shame this money by going to the liquor store and buying something, that will make me feel good for a little bit, and then it's gone.
I think there's this idea in our society of worthy poor. And there's some folks that are more worthy of help than others. Typically families will tell you, typically folks will tell you, well, I want to help the families because kids are involved, and so they want to help them. We don't get a lot of people saying, I want to help single men. And I think it's this belief that somehow men are more capable of taking care of themselves.
You have to find your food, and it's hard. It's hard for people to get around sometimes.
I think it's a big misperception too, who the homeless are. The fastest growing segment of the homeless population, both locally and nationally, is families. Last year we had about 680 families that we served through all of our shelter programs. The parents are often in the throes of a lot of chaos. They're trying to get their life back on track, and so maybe school's not necessarily a priority for them. We had, in all of our family shelters, we had 1,342 kids.
It was every day. I would see little kids, and they don't need to be in that environment to see the drugs. Somebody sitting there smoking crack on the sidewalk in front of the kids. Or smoking a joint, or seeing drug deals go down. That's what just really gets to me, is being a little kid. I can't imagine being a 4, 5, 6-year-old kid and seeing that. What does that say about them growing up, growing older? How is that going to affect? Because it will affect them in some way. It has to.
Length of stay is something that folks are really surprised about. From 2008 to the present, roughly 90% of the population who comes through our doors stays here for 30 days or less and never returns to homelessness, never comes back through our doors. I truly believe that nobody really wants to be homeless.
I don't want to ever do that again, ever.